going. Cool. So Stephanie kind of helped me get this set up. Stephanie, could you raise your hand so that I can see you and then bring you on? Let's see. Click the raise hand button.
All right.
All right, well, this is the first one, so we're gonna have a little technical issues. So cool. Well, we got a bunch of people on today. Let's see. So Stephanie, who helps Brandon and I out with LinkedIn outreach. So a number of you may be kind of new to two bald guys here. Stephanie suggested that we do Q&A. So Brandon, you know, I've done Facebook office hours quite frequently, and this is the first time you and I did office hours together, which focused completely on video, and had quite a bit of response to this. So I'm really excited to kind of dive in. But essentially, this is a Q&A session. If you have a question, you know, the best way to do that is to either raise your hand or put in the chat, and we'll kind of take things in order. Let's see. And what'll happen is I can actually bring you on to ask your question. So, you know, kind of ping us in the chat and say, hey, I've got a question, or raise your hand and I'll see it in the participant list. And then we'll bring you on and ask you to turn your camera on, ask the question, and then we'll have a discussion with you, and then we'll move on to the next person. So let's see, I think Claire is on. Let's see here. I'm gonna have Claire. Claire, are you on?
I am on, yes.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
Great. You were the Claire that submitted a question, right?
I did, yeah. I sent you an email a couple hours ago.
Cool. And you're a friend of Patrick, right?
I am, yes.
Awesome. See,
And we're talking Thursday.
Yeah.
Hopefully, yeah.
Cool. Would love for you to ask. You submitted a question first, so I'd love for you to be able to ask your question. Brandon and I'll take our best shot at answering it, and then we'll have somebody else come on. So fire away.
Cool. Well, yeah, I just I've set up a business called Happiness at Home, and it's in very early stages. And I help a lot of different people with different things. Some are widows living alone, and their family don't live near them, and other clients are extremely busy moms with 4 kids and also running a business. So I just want to know, how do you get the feeling of my impact as a service to them across via video?
Brandon.
Tell me a little bit more about the in-home service. Tell me a little bit more about that.
So I market it as decluttering, reorganizing, and recreating space in your house. So I go into the attics, basements, linen closets, kitchens, toy rooms, kids' rooms, and just organize it. So it's not as chaotic when, you know, busy parents get home from work, or single parents, you know, get home from work. So I'm working with people that have sometimes 2 and 3 jobs. And I also have some widows who sometimes I go to their house and they're having a rough day and it's really emotional, and I might be the only person they speak to that day. And we just sit around the table and talk, and they cry, and sometimes I cry, and I can't charge them for that because I have a heart. So
Sure.
It's, the business is in early stages, but I think you guys and what you do would be fantastic to get the point across of my services. It's not just decluttering and reorganizing. I think there's definitely there's so much more to it, and
Sure.
it helps psychologically as well as, you know, when they come home and see an organized, neat and tidy house. So it's really just getting across that I'm very personable, I'm a human, and, you know, I want to make your lives better and not just make your houses look Instagram pretty.
Right. So where my brain goes with this is this goes beyond a house cleaning service.
100%.
This goes to setting up a personal space that resonates with how you operate in the world. I I've been traveling a while. I've had my son with me for a while, and I'm just yesterday and today getting time to clean my apartment. And I can't even tell you how refreshing it is to get around my space, pick up my stuff, organize a few things. It's a very personal process, and maybe I'm not a typical guy in that regards, but my space has got to be in shape in order for me to be productive. So I think there's a lot of evidence that you want to talk about on video regarding this. It's almost like there's something that feels like you have to give people permission to invest in this type of a process, because people think, oh, I just need to find more time to declutter. Oh, I just need more time to organize. That's a nice idea, right? There's something in your messaging I would offer that says your space and how your space is set up to facilitate your life is important, especially in this pandemic situation. We were forced to work at home. There's tensions mounting regarding money and income. Your home, your space is absolutely paramount to your productivity, peace of mind, joy, all of that. And so you want to make that appeal in your video, for sure. There's plenty of evidence. We've all heard of feng shui, and there's another woman out who had, does something bring you joy? I forget her name.
Marie Kondo.
Yes. So there's something to this. This is not just, let's just clean up your space. There's something very energetic about creating a space that works for your flow and who you are. And so I think there's a lot of beautiful appeal around that. And then the next step would be taken through your process, and your process is always broken down into a 1, 2, 3. Even if your process takes 10 steps, you want to simplify it to 3 to 5 maximum. And that process helps people feel comfortable and secure. And if you're a right fit for them, people want to feel like they're a part of a process. So what's this going to mean? Are you going to come in and go through my underwear drawer without my permission? No. Are you going to try to organize it Claire's way, or is it going to be my way? Because I want it my way. So you're going to have to communicate that to me, and put the ball in my court in that way. So that's what it feels like. You're taking yourself out of the commodity mindset of cleaning service to service that resonates with how you operate in the world.
Awesome. Yeah. And my business card basically says declutter your mind by organizing your home. So
exactly.
You're bang on.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I think you've got some beautiful messaging in there that can work.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah, my pleasure.
And I would just add one other thing. I think this is something that we see in terms of, I'll shift towards the promotion side of things, is that people are so tied to their story and the solution, is that you forget about that the prospect has a problem. And so one of the things we do when we're planning out video is that there's certainly the component where we dig into your story, we dig into why you do what you do and how you do it. But there's this bridge between where the prospect is and where they need to be. And so we really want to keep the customer awareness timeline in mind, whereas we need to make we need to get at people who are either unaware or problem aware and really dig into the problem. So it's, what does the person's life look like? So there's visuals and so forth that you could demonstrate, like a cluttered home, a cluttered mind, families arguing, right? Can never find anything. You're constantly late for things, right? There's chaos in the house. And so what we would do top of funnel is, like, to cold traffic, you want to be agitating, like, this is what your life looks like. Do you want to keep doing this type of thing? If you're ready for this roller coaster to end, here's a better way. And you slide them into, like, consider this as a solution. So that's one thing we see, is that people advertise the solution too much when they don't address the problem.
Right.
Does that make sense, Claire?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's not
Cool.
about me. It's really about them. And
Yep.
I tell them, don't clean up before I get there. I want you to show me around your house.
Yeah.
Show me what cabinets in the kitchen the kids are always trying to get stuff out of. Like, don't have the kids' water bottles up high. Let them get it themselves. Have it in a low, drawer or something. So yeah, just show me how everything operates. Show me the pinch points. Show me where the school bags and shoes get dumped, and we'll create a process. I don't want to come back time and time again. You're investing
Yeah.
in me to make your life and your family situation better. So
So there's going to be a lot of shame here too. So part of that is you need to address the shame of like, it's so bad I don't even want to invite an expert in. You need to
Right.
let people know it's okay.
Right.
yeah, for sure.
That's
Non-judgmental.
clearly by the simple fact that you come and sit down and people are having conversations with you. You're very
Yeah.
approachable, that our living space is a reflection of what's going on or what's not going on or what's needed in our lives, right? So I have a friend who travels a lot, as I travel frequently, and I introduced this idea to them about micro friction. And so I watched kind of how they come in, they visit me once in a while, they come and they explode all over my apartment with all their stuff. And with my full blessing, I love it. I love that they feel comfortable enough to do that. But I'm like, have you thought about this? So I bought them some packing cubes, and then I bought them a phone holder. And the idea around reducing micro friction, it's a legitimate thing. So when you walk into your home, when certain things are not in a place, that's friction. That creates micro tension. So part of your messaging could be around, I'm here to reduce the tension in your environment. I'm here to create tools, systems, places for things, labeling of bins and storage, whatever that looks like, so you can have less friction when you walk in your home. Because once you hit the front door after a long day or whatever, or you come out of the office, you can automatically tell the climate of a room. And if you want a climate to be healthy with other people, the family, then this is important. And you can also say, and I'll shut up, but we're in a completely new age. We're not going back to office buildings. The majority of people are not. We're productive, we're comfortable. Or at least we're not going to go back full time. So this is very, very timely for what's going on in our world right now. And it's good for you that you can step up and acknowledge the elephant in the room. Like, guys, we're not going back to where we were. We work and play and live and entertain all in the same space now.
Absolutely. And another element to it would be older people who are still living in the same houses that they raised their kids in. Their kids are long moved out. Maybe they're grandparents now. They're thinking of downsizing. The housing market's going nuts. Like, what would my house be worth? I don't know. It's too full of stuff to try and get an estimate. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's older people as well that are considering downsizing. Now, those jobs are they're my more longer term clients. Like, I'll do 5 hours a week with them because they might be in their 80s and that's all they want to do. And that's perfect too.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes. You got a lot of good stuff here.
Yeah.
To work with a lot of good stuff.
Well,
Thanks.
good. We'll look forward to talking to you soon, Claire, and glad we got a little chance to get a preview.
Thanks.
Awesome. All right. So, Brandon, I see the issue here is
Yes.
a lot of people came in through LinkedIn, and
Yeah.
Stephanie, who is doing the outreach for us, had the landing page for her specific thing. So we have like 20 people named Stephanie on this call.
It's okay. That
Which
helps
is
my memory. It's going to address everyone as Stephanie.
Yeah, which is great. So how about the person who asked, the Stephanie who asked the question, if you have multiple hypotheses about the problems you may be solving for your customer, could you raise your hand so I could see you on the list, and I will bring you on live and find out who you are for real? Let's see, I saw it there. There it is. Fantastic. There we go. Hi, who are we talking to?
This is the Stephanie that is actually Isaac.
Hey,
Oh,
Isaac.
hey, Isaac, how are you?
Doing good. And
Good.
yeah,
Let's see. I'm
Brandon
gonna change your names. There we go.
There.
Cool.
Cool. Thank you, Isaac. Go ahead and ask your question if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah. So I have a technology that was kind of in search of a problem, and there's a lot of potential problems this tech could solve for a few different classes of people. And as you're putting together a video, in order to figure out where the resonance is with the problem being solved, do you need to do like one that focuses on each possible problem that's being solved, or is there a way to try to put a handful of possible problem solutions into a video and figure out which one resonates and disentangle that later?
That's a great question. I'll answer first, and Bob, Bob's got some thoughts on this too, based on what he
Yeah.
does.
I
I
got
would-
some I want to answer. Go ahead.
Okay, I was just gonna say, one would be depending on your budget. You can always test a bunch of stuff at once. You could certainly do that. My question would be, what is the conversation that they're having in their heads? Are they aware of the problem? Do they know they have a problem? Or what is the question? What's the conversation before they recognize what the problem is? Because sometimes people think this is my problem when actually no, it's actually back here. Your problem there. So I would offer let's say here's our problem. Let's step backwards and say what's going on in their heads that they recognize this could be a problem, or is there a few other things they need to get past first before they say, okay, this is what I want. That's my immediate reaction.
Cool. It's interesting. As soon as you asked that question, Isaac, it took me back to a book. When did I publish this? It was 2008. Chapter 2 is called The Power of One.
Uh-huh.
And this was in relation to a website specifically. I use the example when I talk from stage about the power of one, where I showed why Barack Obama beat Hillary Clinton in the 2008 primary. And it's because Barack Obama's landing page had one goal, which was make a donation. And Hillary's landing page essentially had, I believe I counted 22 separate actions.
Wow.
And so it's very similar to when you walk into the pharmacy and you need to buy toothpaste. And even if you zone in on a brand, that brand has 15 different choices, right? When people are left with a lot of choices, there's confusion. And so if you, in my opinion, if you were to create a video that talked about the 7 different ways your product was used, if those things are unrelated, it's going to create confusion on the part of the person watching it going, well, wait a minute, can this product really solve my problem? Because it's doing all these different things. It's not
Yes.
like the 21 in 1 tool where it makes sense to show all the things. I think knowing a little bit about your project, the disparate kind of targeting for what that product can do, I really think it begs to have different videos for each use case so it's focused. I think focus is really, really key in that sense of like, hey, this product does this, and it may do those other things, but really just focusing on this use case makes a lot more sense for targeting those folks and getting them to take action.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and my hypotheses are really disparate. Is like this toy could give you some guilt-free babysitting, and maybe it's a problem that movies don't give you enough control beyond play and pause, and you'd really like more interaction with your favorite characters. So, and problem is I've got a dozen or more potential problems it could solve. So maybe
Sure.
it'd be expensive trying to figure out which ones resonate, but that's the world of marketing, I guess.
So,
Cool.
so we actually, I'll just to clarify for the audience. So we actually did some filming on Monday night with Isaac and his company. I was there and with some kids who were participating. So I got to see firsthand how they interacted with the toy that he's developing. And Isaac, I'm just going to say that, the easiest barrier to entry, I'm going to keep pushing ease and speed. You could if you can solve 10 different problems, great. But what I saw was one of the kids, the older girl who was playing with the device, where her face lit up had to do with, I get to put personality into a couple of different characters of my choice and make them interact. And that's where her creativity came through. So if I had to just, for you as you're being shrewd and disciplined about what you want to amplify, I'm always going to ask the question: does it come across as easy, and is it fast? Is it move away from complexity? Is it fun? Because that's what it's a toy that you have. It's a learning toy, and we want to stay away from complexity. We want to say, hey, this is still a toy. It's still designed to be fun and interactive. That's where I would stay in that lane as you're thinking about it.
Cool. Thanks.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, looking forward to seeing how this initial test goes, and and it looks like we got some other markets to help you test. So it's going to be exciting. Awesome. Thanks for coming on, Isaac. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Cool. All right. Okay, we have another Stephanie asking a question. All
So
right,
many
so
Stephanies.
the question about the debate between Facebook and YouTube, would you mind raising your hand so we could bring you on to ask that question? It's fantastic. I love it.
Hey,
All
it's
right,
Stephanie.
it's Stephanie again.
Hello, it's not Stephanie, it's Chantal from the Netherlands.
Oh,
Oh,
beautiful.
fantastic. So good to meet you.
Yes, nice to meet you too, both of you. I was just wondering whether things have changed in Facebook, because I know that in the past we were told not to publish directly, or not to publish on YouTube and then put it on Facebook. Is that still the case? Because I really don't like publishing in Facebook, because I want the search engine optimization to be correct.
So you're talking about, you've got a video asset, and where does the video ultimately live? Is that kind of your question?
No, normally I just publish it on YouTube, and then I
Okay.
put it on a website or whatever. But for Facebook, I've been told that we have to publish it directly in Facebook, because otherwise it won't show up.
Yeah, so that's a function of Facebook and Google not really liking each other, even though they fundamentally would not exist without each other, right? It's one of the dichotomies, I think, with, Facebook. It's very similar to the fight between Apple and Facebook now with privacy and iOS 14. Apple isn't as popular without Facebook, and Facebook isn't as popular without Apple. So it doesn't make any sense for them to fight. But in terms of promotion, I hear you on that. And so one of the things that we've done, you can actually create a link to that YouTube video and put it in a post. Sometimes the preview shows up and it looks good. Sometimes it shows in a small thing. The other thing we've done is put that video embedded on a landing page and then promote the landing page link on there. And then we use our own thumbnail. And that's a good way to do that. Have you tried doing that?
No, it sounds like a very good idea. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And what you're doing is actually one of the things we talk about, which is like, you've got one video asset, you want to leverage it in all the different media. So, when Brandon and I put together a video, it goes on our YouTube channel, we put it on our Vimeo channel, we put it on Facebook, we put it in LinkedIn, maybe we put it on Twitter once in a while, but we basically use it, in multiple ways. So it's really good. Tell us a little bit about your business, Chantal. What do you do?
I have a marketing agency. I've had this marketing agency for 17 years, and I've been in marketing for 27 years. I started when there was no internet yet.
Beautiful.
It's incredible. I was one of the very first SEO experts in the Netherlands, and one of the very first to start with online marketing as well.
Nice.
So,
that's so cool. And Brandon and I feel old when we tell people we've each individually been in direct marketing for 23 years.
Yeah.
And we talk to some of these 20 somethings, they're like, oh my goodness, you're ancient. But like, no, we're really we're just very experienced.
This internet thing's a fad. It'll go away. Don't worry.
Well, the good thing is that the basic marketing strategy is still the same. And if you skip this basics, then the rest won't work. So
oh, you're speaking our language. Marketing fundamentals are what it's all about. Yeah, yes. I just, I published the Ultimate Guide to Facebook Ads, and one of the things that Perry and I said that was important put in the book is the screenshots will basically be out of date by the time we hit publish on that thing, and we were right. Yeah. But the book needs to be full of fundamentals so that if you pick that book up 10 years from now, it's still a great marketing book. Marketing fundamentals don't change when the media does.
No, because people don't change. That's the thing. Yes.
That's exactly. The fundamentals of getting people to conversations, sales conversations, buying conversations really doesn't change whether you're using TikTok, Facebook, newspapers, television, direct mail. It doesn't matter. So love talking to people that appreciate that. Well, so good to have you come on today. Appreciate you taking. It's late in the day there, isn't it?
It's 7:30 in the evening. So it's
Cool.
not as bad
All
as I thought it would be, because when I received the invitation, I thought it would be 5 a.m.
No, I do. I don't know if there's anybody on from Australia. I have a couple coaching clients who join us live, and it's 1 a.m, and I feel so bad for them sometimes. So it's not bad.
Yes.
Cool. Well, good to meet you. We appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, it's
Thank
really
you.
nice being here.
Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Isaac's got a question for you, Brandon.
Yeah.
Is that what is Dan Electro? I don't know the brand. What kind of guitar you have behind you?
Oh, that's my son's Dan Electro. Yes, good call.
It is. Well, he called it.
Well done. Yeah, it's his Dan
That's
Electro.
good. Cool. So I've got an offline question I'll answer. But again, if you have a specific question, go ahead and raise your hand, pop it in the chat. We'll bring you on. Brandon, I had a question recently, it's a couple of days ago, and it was kind of interesting, the timing of it. But somebody asked me, what's the most impactful type of video that we produce?
Ooh,
How would you answer that?
Most
I know I have an
impactful.
answer, but I'd love to hear you respond to that.
I've become a huge fan, and we talk about this a lot, our case studies. So we all know, if we've been in marketing less than a day, we know that testimonials are huge. We know you got to have testimonials to show social proof and to demonstrate expertise, because what other people say about you has far more weight than what you say about yourself. So we know testimonials are essential. Our Bob and our tenant is case studies are testimonials to another level, because a case study is actually a wonderful package of sales and marketing built in altogether. Why do I say this? Because people want to know what the experience is going to be like when they work with you. So testimonials is one way, and they begin to look and they see themselves, the person who's giving a testimonial, they see themselves in that person. That's why when we do this work, we like to say, pick your top 3 avatars, pick their age and gender and all that, and let's get them on camera as a testimonial, because there's going to be, if you want other people like them, let's get the model of who you want to attract, right? And so people are, when they watch a testimonial, think, oh, am I going to have that experience? Am I going to have Joan's experience? Okay. So that's really important. What the case study does, it also shows how you, the business owner, come in, hold their hand, walk them through the process. And here's what's really important is, a lot of people will approach a company or a product or service-based business and say, well, this is my problem and I want to fix it. When actually the expert will say, you know what, here's your real problem. It's over here. We got to kind of fix this first. And the way they discover what the real problem is through the hand holding, the connection, the handling with kid gloves, the high touch relationship aspect of it. And so that gets communicated from the provider side as well as the testimonial. So now you get this beautiful storytelling back and forth of the experience from both sides. And I'm telling you, it is such a powerful thing. I believe it's way more powerful than just your basic sales letter that we're all used to reading.
Right.
Bob, you have thoughts on that?
I agree. I'm going to pop. I'm going to share a couple things here in relation to this. I think people find this interesting. So I'm going to bring this one up. So this is one of the most popular pages on our website. So we have an opt-in basically on our site to get case studies. Like, we feel when people come to us and say, like, they want to understand what do we do, how do things work, right? They have a lot of questions. Like, they know we do video, they know we do marketing really well, but then they get into questions like, well, is it going to work for me? And what does the whole thing look like? So that's been a very, very popular kind of opt-in on our site, for us to collect leads, obviously, and start conversations, is this case study page. So what we did here is this is a real simple page. Brand, what do we use? Like Thrive Themes or something?
Thrive Themes, it's a landing page and website builder.
Yeah. But
Easy.
so what we did here is we tried to take some clients that are representative. So Brandon talked about, like, when you do a testimonial or a case study, you want to make sure that your case studies and testimonials are reflective of the clients you serve. So, Perry Marshall is obviously a name. A lot of people know him, and he represents kind of the guru, the thought leader type of person, type of client we work with. So we have a case study in relation to him. And I'll put the link to this in the page, in the chat. Roof Simple, that is a local, soon to be national, but a local home service company. Okay, happens to be a very successful one, but this represents another type of client we work with, which is like, home service businesses. There's a lot of trust that you got to build. So we wanted to show like this is a representative client of that type of industry. And then here is like professional services. So Dr. Michael Ling is a dentist. We do work with doctors, orthopedics, dentists, chiropractors, pain specialists. We've done work with all these types of medical professionals. And so we have a case study related to dentistry in this case. So a medical professional, a professional service provider. And then ASAP Checks represents an e-commerce. Now it's a low ticket, all right? So dentistry is high ticket, guru high ticket, roofing high ticket. But video also works for a client that sells like $10, $15 transactions, not all the time, but like his average ticket might be around $20, $25. So does video work for that client as well? So we not only we have an e-commerce client, but it's like a low ticket client. So we wanted to have basically a representative type of case study for each. And if you go and look at these, you'll get a sense of like how we do kind of the whole case study style. I'll go ahead and put that in the chat, Brandon, so people could see that. I'll do that in a second. The other thing I wanted to show, it's going to be easier to do it this way. Let me put that in there. So that's going to go to attendees. There's the link for that. And then I'm going to show one more thing here, Brandon. We just did a presentation. Was it yesterday or the day before? I don't remember.
What is the day? Today's Wednesday. Yes.
All right, I'm gonna share this because I think this is really, we had a lot of good feedback in the chat in reference to this one. I just have to find it on my screen. There we go. Optimize, share sound. All right, are you seeing Brian Winter on the screen, Brandon?
Not yet. Oh, there we go.
Okay. So I wanted to show you kind of an opening clip. I think this is one of the things we've actually changed this. It's not that long ago. We kind of studied the impactfulness of the way we were doing case studies and testimonials, and we realized that we were kind of doing it wrong. So being a little bit vulnerable and transparent with you guys, we were seeing that our videos weren't getting the engagement at the beginning that they needed to. And what Brandon and I kind of said was, crap, like we know better than this. Like we need to be more impactful at the beginning. So this was a video we actually redid, and I'll show you, I'm not going to show you the before picture, but this is what we came up with after we kind of reworked the way we do testimonials.
So the results that I got from this course just completely blew me away. Thanks to being able to locate high quality leads at 90% the cost of Google AdWords, because now this was a Facebook slingshot course I was taking. I was able to buy 7 to 8x the amount of traffic that I could with my prior budget. These are highly targeted leads that are very interested in what I have to offer. And I just can't believe that I'm getting more leads and they're so cheap, frankly. But it's just really exciting. And I just feel very fortunate to have had this opportunity. Hi, I'm Brian, president of SOAR Learning. SOAR Learning, we publish a study skills and social emotional learning curriculum to help students be the very best students that they can.
Okay, so what's interesting about this, I'll get it back to discussion. So Brandon, what we actually did was, what the last clip we showed you was Brian introducing himself and saying who he was and who they served. And we used to put that at the beginning of the video, which is kind of what everybody was doing. And we realized like that's not the way you hook somebody, right? That's boring. So we moved that. It's almost a minute into the video, but you can see the way we did it is we hit them with results.
Yeah.
How did I feel? What was my transformation? Like this exploded the engagement on our case study videos. Like that, I mean, I'm kind of embarrassed we didn't see it before, Brandon, but I'm really glad that we stumbled on and discovered it. Because I mean, the hook is everything on a video, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm kind of deconstructing TikTok ads right now and TikTok videos, and everything is just getting more condensed. The seconds are getting less and less to capture and hold attention. It's just the way it is. So initially when we started that, and I'm not sure how old that video is, we were beginning to make some assumptions. Well, and then we begin to see the collapse of attention, the collapse of how much time someone is willing to give you. And we're counting in seconds. So Bob's absolutely right. We call them grabbers. It's typically works like a headline in a sales page. It's designed to reach out, grab you by the throat, and hold your attention so you'll keep reading and keep watching. So we want to always lead with something that resonates.
Yeah, if you have Vimeo, YouTube, Wistia, one of the things you could do is look at your videos and you could see the drop off rate. Like, okay, if they click start, you can see the drop off rate. And if you see a steep decline right after they step into the video, you know that your hook is wrong. So we took a look at that and said, crap, like people aren't watching this testimonial because it kind of felt like, oh, well, this is a typical testimonial. When you hit them with the results right away, all of a sudden you see this leveling off at the beginning. And then of course, like as they get through that, it's going to taper off. But we didn't want that like step off the cliff and you're diving, right? We want to see at least kind of this plane, and then it's a gradual decrease, which is you're going to see with any video. So, one of the things that you really want to be looking at is your stats on a video, and make sure that you at least have some sort of levelness at the beginning before you see that drop off. And that's a good way to diagnose whether your video is doing its job or not.
You see that question,
video. Bob? Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not a master at YouTube analytics, but I know you can go in the back office and get that type of information for any video that's hosted. So you should be able to see that. I don't know the specifics. Do you, Brandon, about YouTube analytics?
I don't. I know it's pretty much visible on the page of the video. If you pull it up in your channel, there's a tab and it'll go right into it.
Okay. All right. So again, if you got something you want to pop in with, feel free. I know some of you already kind of told me I just want to pop in and listen, which is great. We got another thing we could cover here, but if there's a specific question, we'd love to be able to answer it for you. Otherwise, I'm going to bring something else up here, Brandon, that people have found to be quite useful, and I want to share with them in case they haven't seen it. Just give me a second to bring it up.
Okay.
Okay.
Which one are you looking for?
Oh no, I'll surprise you with it here.
Oh.
So if anybody hasn't seen this is on our site. If you go to training, this is all free, by the way. If you go to training, look up video content creation masterclass, and I don't remember I'll opt into the own site. But I want to show you this tool here. Love for you to have it. We have a whole training on this. Yeah, we look like we're having a little bit of fun there, doesn't it?
Just a little. Yeah.
I want to. One of the questions we get quite often, Brandon, is like, I don't know what to say. That's probably I don't know what to say is the number one question, and the second question is I don't know what to do with the videos. So we talked a little bit about what to do with them. But let's walk them through this a little bit, because I think this is going to be useful. This is interesting how we created this. So, gosh, it's been 2 years since we did the Facebook workshop in Chicago, and in trying to prepare people for like being really creative with their creative, we wanted to come up with a tool, and I guess I'll tell you how I created it. Like most of you, all your good ideas come in the shower when you have no access to pen and paper. But I was, and I obviously don't wash my hair, but I was like soaping up, and all of a sudden I had this epiphany, and all these words were just like literally passing by my eye. And so I'm just trying to remember all of them as I'm like quickly getting done here so I can run in and write these things down. But this whole thing started with all these different words, okay? And these words are actions or categories of action and different things that we can inject into our content. I gave that to Brandon and said, like, I don't know what to do with this, but here you go. And then Brandon, you created this thing. So talk through, like, you took all these words I did and tell us how to like use this tool.
Sure. So in the video set you want to create, there's two things: is what do you want to demonstrate, and then how are you going to demonstrate it? In other words, what do people need to see regarding your product or service in order to make a decision to take a step towards you? And it's generally one of those 4 E's: expertise, experience, evidence, and ease. And all the little words next to it is just simply synonyms for those words. So, for example, expertise. If you want to demonstrate.
Let's use golf because that's on
Golf,
my mind.
of course, golfing. So if you have some kind of a course, let's just say it's a course around golf,
Yeah,
swinging or whatever. So what are the things that in order to influence, in order to get people to take a step and consider your offer, consider your whatever you're selling, what do they need to see? Well, they need to see expertise, experience, evidence, and ease. And I mentioned that with Isaac earlier. The whole ease thing is a big deal. So with expertise, what does that mean? What's expertise mean? Well, it demonstrates that this tool, this course, this club is going to do what you say it's going to do. Here's what's going to deliver. It's going to, you have to demonstrate your expertise in this field. So you're a golf coach. You've been doing this X number of years. You know what you're talking about. You can demonstrate a level of expertise. Experience, again, it goes back to how many people you've trained, how many different devices you've used to improve your swing, all the different methods you've tried. That evidence, you're going to show testimonials and case studies. Okay. You're going to show actual stats. And I went from, barely being able to, break whatever number in golf to now I'm at a higher level.
Yeah, I took 6 strokes off my game after taking this course, right? I improved my driving distance by 30 yards, that type of thing.
And then the last one I think is super important is it can be the absolute best program in the world. It can be the best toy in the world, the most groundbreaking, as Isaac is working on. It can be a beautiful service that Claire is working on. But if it doesn't come across as easy and simple, you're going to get resistance. Yeah. Our culture is, they just make my life easier. That's what they're screaming to you with your product or service. So is this going to be easy for me? Do I have to sit down and go through hours of coursework to learn how to shave these 6 strokes off my game? Or do I just pull it up on my phone and I set up on a little stand while I'm practicing at the driving range? And within 1 minute, I'm going to show you a video that's going to help you improve your swing and get you in the habit of using your hips as opposed to your shoulders, whatever that is. Make it absolutely easy. And in fact, I would venture to say, the more you can show ease, how easy it is for them to consume it and use it immediately, the higher conversions, the more sales you will do. And in fact, and please don't let up on your product or service until you're getting it there. You can demonstrate how easy it is.
Yeah, I love that. That's really important. We're seeing that more and more. As we go to the house side, Brandon, the whole emotional piece, I'm thinking back to Claire. There's a lot to tap into with her perspective. There's so many emotions that are listed there, and I think the gift that you have, Claire, is that the emotion of people who you help they're angry, they're in desperation, right? they have sadness, they have shame, they have sorrow, right? And then your solution moves them to the other side of the spectrum, right? Where there's excitement, right? There's happiness, there's joy, there's passion, there's pride. Like, to be able to demonstrate the before and after, where you're taking somebody from that shame to that joy, is like, that's going to be a really great blade on this wheel for you, I think, is tapping into the emotional piece. Education kind of speaks for itself. You know, if you're in the business of teaching somebody to do something, you want to demonstrate your ability and, you know, and teach them. I want you to talk about entertainment, Brandon. This is something we're always trying
Sure.
to. I think this is the hardest one, to be honest with you.
The entertainment, yeah, people can
Yeah.
get tripped up here when they're like, oh, do I have, you know, we are trained by two things when it comes to video. We're trained by talking heads, you know, the news anchors who are plastic and are reading off a teleprompter, and we're also and they're perfect, and every say the perfect chuckle at the perfect moment, the perfect comment, perfect hair, all that. And we're also trained by actors, who we gauge an actor how good they are by how much they can convince us the character is real. And we think we have to be one of these, and it's not true at all. Entertainment doesn't have to be funny. If you don't feel like you're funny, you don't have to be funny. Entertainment can just be, it can be bring a perspective to your product or service or to the industry and poke some fun at it, or show a different angle at it. So we encourage our clients, you know, when we're creating a video set for them, and then we kind of are pushing them out of the nest and having them create something maybe weekly or bi-weekly, is we start them off with rants. You know, have a rant about the industry. What's going on this street? You know, if we're going to use golf, for example, you know, if let's say that you've got you're the golf product and you've got your videos, and now you just need to get some content out there to have a little bit of fun and show your personality. And again, it doesn't have to be around humor. It can be around sarcasm. So, you know, it's like, here's this device that they guaranteed it would knock 3 strokes or 6 strokes off my swing.
This thing costs $300.
Yeah. All this did is knock $300 out of my wallet. This is crap. This is my rant. My Friday golf day rant, or whatever day people generally golf. You know, it's Thursday morning, whatever. You can rant about a product. You can rant about something in the industry. You can poke fun of maybe something that is recent in the news. You know, I know, is it Phil Nicholson? I'm not a golf guy. Is it? He's like 50-something strokes away from setting a world record, or I don't know, legend.
He won a major. He's the oldest person to win a major at age 50. Let's get it right.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm not the sports guy.
Clearly.
Yeah. So I think there's a way to bring an entertainment value that is not all just education, and this is what this thing is going to do for you, and here's why you should get it. You can have some fun with this, and you can do this in any industry, I'm convinced, within reason. Does that help? Am I answering that okay?
Yeah. So
okay.
I want people to download this tool, because the number one question is, I don't know what to say. Well, this is meant to be a way for you to kind of lock into one of these zones, and then we have all these synonyms and all these words to kind of prompt you. And then Brandon put together this worksheet, so you could print this thing out. Don't sit in your computer and do this. Like, print it out, go to another place, go outside, go to a coffee shop, you know, do whatever you got to do to get out of your like workspace, go to a creative space and brainstorm. Use this tool over and over. You could print it out, save it on your computer, and do it multiple times. That's why we created it. Feedstories.com/CCM is the link to that. So yeah, Patrick, yeah, when we start working together, yeah, the whole chart. Yeah, absolutely, brother. Cool. All right. Well, any further questions that come in, you know, cool, for the why content? Let's see.
Chantel, what was that?
For what? So, okay, so I kind of get your question, Isaac. So the what and the how are really the two main questions that you want to go after. The why question comes into the what side. Like, Chantel kind of has, like, you know, the who, what, when, where, why, like that whole thing. That that gets you a little bit in the weeds, so you can cover the why in the whole the what to demonstrate type of thing, and then it bridges into the how. So the why is going to come out. So we create a video called the Big Why video, and in that type of video, what we do is we essentially get to the core of why somebody does what they do. Most people have an origin story for their business. So, Feedstories started this way. I'm a Facebook guy, and I was at Facebook headquarters getting trained with a bunch of advertisers that were spending significantly more money than me. I didn't really belong in the room, but I was glad to be in the room. And I thought I was there for Facebook training, but all they kept talking about was video, 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 video. We're a video company now. We're shifting our focus to video. Okay, I heard that. I went, huh, that's notable. I went downstairs during a break, went out to the sidewalk in front of Facebook headquarters, picked up the phone and called Brandon. Brandon and I had worked together in the past, and we'll tell that story another time, but we were working together, then we weren't, and then we helped each other survive, and then I made this call. I said, Brandon, this is what I just heard, and the light clicked on for Brandon as well.
Yeah.
We literally started Feedstories from the sidewalk in Austin, Texas, and I think we kind of formed the company over lunch at an airport hotel in Chicago, and we started Feedstories 2016. Every company's got an origin story. There's a reason a lot of people do what they do. Patrick, obviously, you've got an amazing story of why you're going to do what you're going to do. Claire, I'm sure there's a whole background story that we're going to learn about you. Isaac, you've got a great backstory about why you developed that toy, and I can see a couple other people on here where I recognize their first names. If I know who they are, you've got stories too. What I think one of the things that excites us most about doing video, Brandon, is really when we get to that why. I think like I love being on calls with people, getting to know them, and then all of a sudden you get to like, why do they do what they do? And then all of a sudden the energy, the whole thing changes.
Yes. I'm going to offer that what we've learned is we generally start with, because again, this attention that keeps getting condensed and the demand, we generally don't lead with the why, the big why video we call it, and it is because first people want to know that you can solve their problem. They first tell me, can you help me? And you're going to do that by your other kind of videos, features and benefits. You're addressing the elephant in the room, specifics of how the process. They want to know, okay, before I take this relationship any deeper, can you help me? Can you fix my problem? And so we usually lead with those videos. But then what happens is people circle back around, like, how did you get into this business? It's the conversation at the bar is what it is. And usually, like with Bob and I, there was this gaping hole of what Facebook could and could not do. They could robotize pretty much everything else except creative, and video was the dominant media. They couldn't robotize that. Boom, a business was born.
Yeah, and that's a story in itself, but it was a Facebook ad engineer who's like, hey, we can bid better than you, we can target better than you. What we can't do is create creative better than you.
There you go.
So like 80% of your results come out of your creative. So I mean, that's just another reason why we started doing what we do, because all your results come from your creative. And we mentioned it twice now, but Brandon, I think it's really key is that too many people are focusing on their mission, and they believe all they have to do is state their mission. And then, you didn't get to see this, but Sunday, Phil Mickelson was walking down the 18th green and a horde of people were following him. It was an amazing mob scene. Most people think that all I'm going to do is I'm going to state my mission and I'm going to keep walking and I'm going to bring this whole army of people behind me. And that absolutely never happens.
No.
It does not happen that way.
Sorry.
So we need to bust that mythology right there, because people aren't going to follow your mission until they know that their problem is going to be solved, because we're selfish.
Yeah.
We're selfish people.
And your mission is your mission. I want to know if you care about my mission.
Yes.
I do an exercise with some clients where I say, listen, I'm a spoiled 14-year-old girl. It's all about me. tell me what I'm going to get. I do this with Perry Marshall, one of our best clients and dear friends. I said, Perry, what do I get?
Yep.
Because he can get wrapped up in all the whys sometimes. Like, no, man, what do I get? Tell me what I get.
Yeah.
I want to know the color and the shape and what's it going to make me feel like. I don't give a crap about all this other stuff. Tell me what I get. I'm selfish. All I care about me.
I will care. I will care later.
I'll care later. Yep.
Right. But
Yep.
I've got this problem I got to deal with. So
Yep.
I need to know, can you take me out of this dire situation that I'm in? That's what it really gets down to. And the more, we use this term in marketing called bleeding necks, right?
Yeah.
The more bloody the scene, the more you're needed and the more impactful your marketing is going to be. All right. If you don't solve a bleeding neck, you're not going to have much impact in a marketplace.
Yeah.
We have discovered really in the last few years that the bleeding neck is not like I need to do more video. It's that people don't know what to say and they have no idea what to do with it when they're done. Right. That's why we focus all our marketing and all our content towards how do I get it done? How do I say what do I say when the camera turns on? We've shifted all of our marketing towards that because that's where the bleeding neck is. You can get video done anywhere. You can turn on your iPhone and do video. There's videographers in every city. We have a videographer on staff, but when we travel to a new city, we hire a new videographer and we have a process to do that. But we get 50 responses every time we put an ad out. Why is that? Well, there's plenty of people that can do video. The problem is that it's not just about turning a camera on. It's like, what do I say? What am I going to do with it when I'm there? And that's really where we've honed in on and have helped people solve that problem. And that's why our company has grown, is we've figured that out and we've turned that corner. And that's what we want for all of you.
And it's not to take away from mission. I don't mean to sound crass when I say it like it. I'm saying it's the order of how you present this stuff. A lot, 100 years ago, people led with, well, we've been in business 300 years. Nobody cares. Right. Today, nobody cares. They care about, can you solve my problem? Right. Great. I'll listen to you a little more. The order has shifted. Credibility used to be how long you're in business. Now people don't care.
Doesn't matter. It's a secondary thought. No. So, well, good. We're going to be respectful of people's time. We got on a few rants there, which was great.
Yes. Thank you for letting us indulge that.
Let us know, was this useful? Type in the chat. Just let us know. Hopefully you've got some good stuff today. We appreciated all you spending some time with us. Cool. Thank you. Thank you.
We're going to keep doing this, right, Bob?
We're going to do it once a month. So if you're already registered for this one, you'll hear about the next one, and we'll see if we can fix the whole half our audience is Stephanie problem. See if we can figure that out.
Thanks to all the Stephanies.
Thanks to all the Stephanies who joined us today. So we appreciate y'all. We'll see you on the road. Take care.
Thanks, guys.